do is cut through that fog of information and indeed misinformation to try and give you an accurate picture as possible. What's happening in Libya is extraordinary. Libyans are getting round the crackdown by speaking to their friends and family outside of the country and getting information out that way. To the micro-blogging site Twitter next to hear examples of that. This from the east of the country. People from all walks of life are here. Women, girls, OAP, men, boys, even the dead are here. The most beautiful sight ever. And the protesters are even using radio to get their message out. Anti-Gaddafi radio station Voice of Free Libya announces countdown has begun to the end of the regime. And London to Cairo with this report. Again, it's impossible to confirm. Normal black Africans in Libya too scared to go out for food for fear of being mistaken as mercenaries, say emails coming through. Now, another blogger has posted this. We're told that any anti-Gaddafi signs are being cleaned by security. Well, this still picture seems to confirm that. And now a Libyan girl who we've been speaking to from outside the country has set up her own YouTube channel. She's posting footage from family members. Now, this one's interesting as it appears to show a Chinook helicopter over what we're told is Jamhuriya Street in the capital. Now, others have reported that mercenaries have been moving about the capital using such helicopters. And staying with Jamhuriya Street, Tripoli, this footage was posted today. It appears to show the aftermath of clashes in the capital. Now, everything we've seen so far points to a very heavy crackdown on the protesters there. Now, given the problems of getting footage out of Libya, AlJazeera has made an appeal on several sites for people to send us images directly to our Your Media site. Here's one we received a few hours ago from a guy who told us it was shot on Sunday while he and his friends were on their way to Green Square. Now, hidden shooters allegedly started firing on people there. Keep up to date with the very latest, including our live blog, which is updated every few minutes throughout the day. AlJazeera.net/English is the place to be. There's new video, reporting, opinion, analysis from some of the best in the business, both inside and outside of Libya. The web desk needs you guys to stay involved. So much of what we've been reporting has come from you.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Imran. 7 members of Yemen's ruling party have now quit over the situation in their country and say they will form a new independent bloc. 2 pro-democracy activists were killed and more than 10 were injured in clashes overnight. Witnesses say armed government supporters opened fire at demonstrators in the capital, Sana'a. Let's bring in Hashim Akhobara, our man who's been covering the trouble there in Sana'a since it all began. Those clashes that we saw were under cover of darkness. It is dark now, 24 hours later. Any sign of anything similar happening?
Well, it's quiet at this particular moment outside the University of Sana'a, but the situation is extremely tense in the capital. Let me just give you an update of the latest developments here in the capital. Yemen's Minister of Tourism, Nabil Hassan al-Faqih, has offered a new initiative in a surprise move in the capital. He's telling President Ali Abdullah Saleh that early elections have to be held in September 2011 without Ali Abdullah Saleh running as a candidate, and that Yemen needs immediately a parliamentary system that incorporates all the different voices in Yemen, and that a radical restructuring of security agencies plagued by overlapping responsibilities and confusion is required. And he thinks that President Ali Abdullah Saleh cannot weather the storm anymore, and that Yemen is not immune to what's happening in Libya, Tunisia and Egypt. And therefore, if nothing happens, the impasse will just further cripple the country. We also understand that the second highest ranking official in the Ministry of Local Administration has resigned. When we spoke with him, he told us that he is frustrated with the rampant corruption and the violent attacks on pro-democracy protesters. We also understand that an 8th member of another member of the parliament of the ruling party has also just resigned from the parliament over the same concerns. David.
Thank you very much, Hashim Akhobara in Yemen. In Egypt, at least 4 people have been injured after a fire in the Egyptian Interior Ministry in Cairo. Rescue teams went to the building, which houses criminal records and other personal files. The fire began after about 1,000 protesters gathered around the building. They were former members of the police who were suspended from the force, and they set fire to 5 police cars and private cars outside the ministry. Egypt's new cabinet's been meeting for the first time. Security and food provision top of the agenda. But the cabinet may have additional opposition to contend with when the military rulers hand over power in 6 months' time. A group of pro-democracy activists have announced they'll be forming a new political party. Human rights groups in AlJazeera are pushing for more change after the government lifted the state of emergency there. The Algerian Human Rights League says scrapping the 20-year law is positive, but not enough. The government hopes to appease demonstrators protesting weekly in the capital, Algiers. Cabinet also approved measures aimed at reducing unemployment. Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah has promised $10.7 billion in pay rises, job creation and leniency on loans. King made the announcement as he returned home after spending 3 months abroad receiving medical treatment. The development fund's being set up to help struggling Saudis buy homes, get married and start businesses. Well, rescuers are trying once again through the night as teams try to find survivors of New Zealand's latest earthquake. Death toll at least 75 after buildings collapsed during Tuesday's quake in Christchurch. A state of emergency has been declared at the airport. Even parts of the city hospital are still closed. Andrew Thomas is our reporter there.
The rescue efforts continue, but with each passing hour, hopes fade. Here, where there stood a 6-storey building containing a TV station and a language school, now just smouldering rubble. There's no chance any more people can be pulled alive from here. Between 50 and 80 were inside when it fell. Elsewhere, though, there is still a faint chance more survivors can be found. At one city centre office block, a woman was pulled alive from the rubble after more than 25 hours trapped. This dramatic footage, filmed on Tuesday, shows the conditions under which rescuers are working. Dark, dangerous, but the result here, a life saved. AlJazeera has obtained new footage of the moment the earthquake hit a Christian leadership meeting.
There's the earthquake I told you we were going to have. That's the
carnage it caused seen firsthand by New Zealand's Prime Minister on Wednesday.
All New Zealanders have a piece of our heart in Christchurch. All of our lives are touched by this event. A friend or a family member who lives there, a time spent studying or a memorable experience there. We feel connected to your suffering. Your tragedy is our tragedy. Today I want Christchurch to hear this message. You will get through this. This proud country is right behind you, and we are backing you with all our might.
As if conditions weren't already tough enough, concerned that aftershocks could bring more buildings tumbling down. This hotel, one of the tallest buildings in town, leans precariously to one side. Each new sway of the ground, and on Wednesday there have been many, brings fears it will fall. This building is typical now of so many in Christchurch. A real mess. You can see the walls have been ripped off, rooms exposed, rubble on